Hello everyone and welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog. Now I get it if you are rolling your eyes at the moment, but I assure you, roll not thine eyes, for Sonic is great, and I'm going to show you how Sonic is great. Now I know some of the modern Sonic games are a little, yeah, but original Sonic here is fantastic. Now, we'll say this. After we zoom. Nice. I received Sonic 2 bundled with my Sega Genesis when I was a kid. So I didn't actually play this game until years after the fact. Which is fine. I mean, they're both fine games, but you know, I grew up with the cartoons and Sonic Mania in general of the 90s, you know. Not Sonic Mania the game, Sonic Mania the... I don't think there's anything back here worth our time. Nope. We're just backtracking at this point. So yeah, the Sonic craze of the 90s. There was a Mario craze too, but Mario was his own huge thing. And I love Mario, but we're focusing on Sonic today. Now Sonic, we're going to pretend Sonic 06 wasn't a thing. And Sonic Boom I don't even think was made by Sega directly, and it was full of glitches and bugs and oh my. Now I will say one of the underrated Sonic games that I absolutely loved playing was Sonic Dark Brotherhood on the DS. Kind of wish that had went somewhere instead of just falling into obscurity and never seeing a sequel. To this day, I'm extremely sad about that. 'Cause I'm not a big RPG guy. I mean, I love Pokemon, and I still need to play through Earthbound, but outside of that, I just don't play RPGs. Like, I don't touch Final Fantasy with a 10-foot pole. Not that they're bad games, they're just not my cup of tea. But, I mean, platformers like this are more my speed. Pun intended. But we missed. Now, if I've said this once, I must have said it 1,000 times over the course of my life. I'm not very skilled when it comes to playing video games. I play to have fun. To be laid back, chill, relaxed. Now I know that not every game is conducive to that kind of mentality. Like some games are in your face and hard and they're challenging, and that I like that too. But when you're playing something like this, it's not that it's challenging. The challenge or the curve in difficulty is slight over the course of time, so it's well built. Now I will say that Sega in general, I don't know if I should blame Sega or Sonic Team or really who's at fault with this, but Green Hill Zone is something you're going to see a million times over the years. You know, you kind of start seeing this trend with Sega to where these Sonic stages were so well received that anytime they need to show Sonic off or make a Sonic game, you start seeing these stages return over and over again. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that anytime Sega tries to make, you know, brand new original Sonic content, people, you know, kind of say, well, we want original Sonic. And when they give them original Sonic, people do exactly what I'm doing. They're complaining and saying, why no original content? So I feel like Sega is kind of in this position to where they can't win for losing. It doesn't really matter what they give people. There's always going to be somebody somewhere fussing about the state of the Sonic series and how they're not pleased with it. Now, I'll say this. I love Game Grumps. I absolutely adore Game Grumps. I've been watching them every day for a handful of years now. But sometimes Aaron just downright pisses me off when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog, because yeah, there are a lot of issues with Sonic, and I get that. But sometimes it seems like he's just milking the whole thing. If that makes sense to you. I mean, does that make sense to you guys? Like, sometimes it just seems like Aaron is hating on Sonic because he knows that it'll stir up Sonic fans, and it'll get the tweets going, and it'll just be a big thing, and I don't care for that. I really don't care for that mentality. I don't care for when he does that. I do not like that. If you don't like a game, don't play it. It's that simple. Some of us happen to like Sonic games. Some of us happen to like Sonic games a lot. Your complaining about it doesn't actually change anything. Or at least it didn't until recently. I have noticed a trend to where celebrity gamers, Let's Players, just general people like that or in that field are definitely having an effect on the industry. Because the industry is about making money, as is any industry or company. But at the same time, they can't make money if they're not actually making a decent product. You know, the gaming industry, up at least until recently, I could vouch for it and say that it is held to a higher standard. You know, things like Hollywood and the music industry, they let themselves slip years ago. But the gaming industry, not only is it kind of self-regulated, but it's always kind of survived. It's staked its claim in our lives. You know, it's planted its flag and said, hey, it's okay if people want to watch TV and movies and listen to music and read and blah blah blah, but games are here to stay, and people like me are very happy about that. But at the same time, the negative connotation that games have received since the 90s, that's a stigma that's taken years to kind of make go away, I guess. And I don't appreciate it when people have terrible opinions, and I'm all about freedom of speech. It's fine if you have a terrible opinion. It'll make me cringe, but at the end of the day, you're welcome to make it. But when your terrible opinions are shaping the way the industry does things, then we have a problem. And at the time of recording this, net neutrality is a thing that we're all terrified is about to go away because of the runaway capitalist society we have here in the United States, and the way that politicians can easily be bought, and lobbying is a thing, and it's an utter nightmare. So when I think about net neutrality, and I think about things like the recent EA scandal, it makes me kind of worried for the future. You know, it makes me wonder, am I going to end up living in a cabin in the woods trying to stave off madness? And sometimes it feels like that's an inevitability, you know? I mean, life can be rough, but we roll up our sleeves and we get in there and we get it done. We try our best, and at the end of the day, we don't need a lot of nonsense controversy surrounding our entertainment. And hey, look, is that Mario up there on the on those things? I don't know what that's called. No. As you'll see, the emeralds are going to start getting a little more difficult to obtain. Or, not, a little trickier, I should say. Okay, there we go. Sometimes this one gives me a headache. Sometimes this one can be a bit of a turd. But, I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. Now, I bet you're wondering to yourself, Eric, why wait until Sonic to have this conversation and lay all this on the line? Well, it's because I want to be respectful of the companies. I want to be respectful of the companies who make the games. And Nintendo is very hush-hush on things like this, so I figured it's best not to have these kind of conversations while playing Mario, because it's not what Nintendo's about. They don't want their brand associated with that, so I figured, you know, now's the perfect time. My channel is still relatively new. I don't have a lot of content under my belt. I'm not well known. I'm actually not known at all at this point. So it's easier to have this conversation here and now, and so that's what we're doing. And that should answer that question, because I just thought that might be something that I get asked a good bit in the future. But no, Sonic, yeah, I get it. I mean, if you walk up to me and you say, "Hey, how about those Sonic games?" I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, how about them?" And we're both gonna know that you are, kind of winking at how broken modern Sonic games can be, and I get that. But you have to remember, I'm always gonna defend Sonic unless he does something terrible like Sonic 06. And I still don't know. I honestly, to this day, I don't know the politics behind what happened to make Sonic 06 the way that it is. I just remember that when I first started seeing screenshots of the game, and I first started seeing little snippets here and there, I thought, rats. Just trying to jump up there. I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be good. Look at those graphics. And this is back coming off of the GameCube into the modern console era with the PS3 and the 360 and the Wii. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, we've been a Nintendo fanboy our entire lives, and we've thrown some Sega in there. Maybe we should look into buying an Xbox or a PlayStation console. Here's the problem. Sonic 06 happened. And you take a character very near and dear to my heart that I grew up with, and you give me something like that, it turned me off of games for those systems. Kinda. I mean, I can't attribute my absence during that generation of gaming towards that one thing specifically, but it didn't help. It didn't help whatsoever. But yeah, I guess I haven't explained that. I grew up playing games religiously, and then during that era of gaming, I vanished. I had a Wii, but I didn't play too much. The Wii definitely seemed like a gimmick to me, like a toy, more than a gaming console, because I defended Nintendo for years. My cousin would always say Sony's the way to go. You can only have one console. It's stupid to have Nintendo consoles. They've lost the console race. PS2 is superior to the 64, and that kind of mentality did mess me up a little bit. I'll admit it. And I spent years not mentally being where I needed to be to enjoy all of the big boys and all the games. But life happened, and that, coupled with the fact that life happened, pretty much kept me from being around for those days. So I never owned a 360, but every now and then a friend would bring one over and I'd play something. And I never got into the PS3 era of gaming either. Didn't have a PS3. I think, for the record, just to clarify, at some point I think I did own a physical 360 in my home, and I made an attempt to have my Microsoft account and play games, but I just couldn't get into it. I played the part of the old man, I didn't want to modernize. Wow, we are just tumbling. Very fortunate we tumbled the way we did. There were a lot of traps back there. Come on, break. Nice. We're coming along quite nicely. We have 4. At this rate, we'll punch through this like it was nothing. Hey, buddy. But yeah, I played the part of the old man. I just did not assimilate well into modern gaming culture. And I doubt you'll ever really see me. I can't look back fondly because I didn't play that stuff, so yeah. It kind of makes me wonder where we're going now, because it's almost 2018 and YouTube is kind of imploding and dying, and Twitch used to be nice, but I foresee Twitch dying in the next 5 years or so myself because it's already started to go that way. And I don't know. I always had a hard time accepting the validity of Let's Plays anyhow as an art form, as an actual product, because YouTube to me seems like any other social media platform. You just use your phone or buy a little camera, you go out and make videos, anybody can do it, there's nothing professional about it whatsoever. But then you get shows, you get all these YouTubers for the past decade who have built entire entertainment empires based on the fact that they're on YouTube. And what's funny is so many of them are Minecraft related. And it boggles my mind how big that became and how that exploded and took off. Because I remember when Minecraft was first shown and it was new and we were all getting a taste of it, we thought, oh man, that's kind of a neat little thing, you know. It looks like an old Super Nintendo or 64 game, you know. They're cashing in on the nostalgia here. And then years later, everyday gamers have become millionaires thanks to making careers on YouTube. My mind is blown. It's like, how? But I guess all good things have to come to an end. And as pessimistic as that may seem, I've been through so much in my life fighting with the negative aspects of this world and depression and just trying to remain happy, and it's like every time I turn around something's taken from me. So I wouldn't say it's pessimism as much as it is at this point just being realistic, because I've gone from playing stuff like Pokemon Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, to having to deal with natures and all the nonsense that comes with all the hand-holding and how heavily Japanese oriented the games have become. I don't feel that the modern Pokemon games, I don't think they're easily accessible to countries outside of Japan. These characters like Lily and Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, this storytelling, the way that these characters are written, it's extremely Japanese, and I don't care for it. I mean, I love Japan, but I kind of Japanned myself out in the 2000s. A little too into it. And but yeah, other than Pokemon, it's like you go from this Sonic to Sonic 06, and you can see how, like I said earlier, it can just turn you off altogether. I go from Super Mario World to Galaxy, and I'm like, whoa, this is so amazing, and there's so many dimensions to this, you know, and you have to be, and I don't know. Again, I feel like an old man. I feel like I've turned 80 at 30, and with the way that society is now, we're not experiencing a generational gap as lengthy as we used to. Like, my grandmother's still alive. She's got to be in her 70s, probably closing in on her 80s. And, you know, she would have lived through the Great Depression, World War II, the modern turning of the modern age in the 50s, all of the hippie movements and civil rights movements of the 60s. Just, I mean, that's mind-boggling. And what she's lived through compared to what somebody like my age has lived through, there's a huge gap there, but it's nowhere near the gap that you're going to experience between me and, say, someone who's 16 years old right now. We're living two completely different realities. When I was a kid, there was no internet. My parents still used VHS tapes and cassette tapes, and we had a landline phone. I'm 33 years old. I was born in the 80s. So, pre-cell phone and all that. So, like, yeah, it's two completely different realities that have shaped us. And with that generational gap getting smaller and smaller, I just feel like I'm old and in the way before I'm old and in the way. So, there's some social commentary for you folks. Good old Eric, good old chozolorehd, having an opinion on life. But, It does affect video games, and like I said, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, forgot how long it goes when I was trying to make this point. It seems like an industry that's always self-regulated so that it can survive and compete against the others who bully it constantly might finally fall to the wayside. I love Nintendo to death, but it seems like Nintendo is slowly failing to realize what the Western market wants from gaming. I don't think Nintendo is kind of with it anymore. Sony and Microsoft are too busy competing against one another, and they're starting to forget what the whole game is about, and it's a mess. It's all a huge mess. So what I decided to do was to start doing my own Let's Play series and see how long I could go and how many fun games from my past I could play. And I still want to play modern games like Ukulele and Sonic Mania. I've bought both of those and I need to play them, but I wanted to kind of tuck away a few of these old classic games that are important to me, get those under my belt first, and kind of give my channel time to grow and let people find me. Oh, we got to be real careful here, because I forget which one of these is going. Okay, that's the exit down there. So we need to avoid the R. Fall, Sonic, fall. There we go. Sport. Okay. Careful. Careful. Easy. We got it. See? It's not too difficult if you know what you're doing. It's just a matter of getting through it. I have no idea how I'm supposed to get all the emeralds in Sonic 2. I guess we'll have to turn Tails off or something. I don't know. There's a delay on Tails that always causes him to get hit and lose rings for you, making it very difficult to obtain the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2. Of course, we don't really need them. I've beaten the game so many times without having any of them, so we'll see when we get there. We'll see what we can do. Really? There you go. Ooh. You guys make me nervous. Just like these guys. Your googly eyes. Alright, what's down here? Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is going to be a chore. Gotcha. Hey, wait. Come back. We need a way out. Thanks. Okay. And avoid the spikes. Okay, we're good. Oh, hey. Don't you sneak up on me. Hey. Alright. Boom. Aw. We should have jumped. Maybe we can get this last emerald and be on our way. Bung, bung, bung. Alright. This is going to be difficult for me personally. This is... Yeah. Yep. This is the hardest emerald to get, for me personally, at least. This emerald is going to make me very angry. Bung. Come on. Ooh. Well, we made it. I don't know how, but we made it. See you guys up here. Okay. So the only thing left, I think I've talked myself out for the day. No. It's like I sat down, I thought, oh, we'll play this whole game at once, and now I feel like maybe we should next time it. You know? I don't know. I do feel like I've jabbered myself out, though. There's nothing left to do now but to get hit a lot. Launch. Jump. There you go. There should be a way to get out of this part. Ooh. Try to race and get over here before that block blocks us in. Whoa. Calm down. We're gonna get this first because we are going to need it. Okay, easy. Easy. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna get impatient. I was gonna kill myself. Okay. Failure. Alright. Come on, Robotnik. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said 5. 6, 7, 8. It's always 8 licks, isn't it, old man? And I think we will do that. I think we'll chop this in half because we're already getting pretty lengthy with this episode. It's nearing 30 minutes, so I will see you guys back here next time.